We need to have a State of the Union address, a State of the Ism. It's good to have those every once in a while. Just, address some things. Among which I have made, I'm just going to lay this out for you. I've made videos about Israel, Palestine, Serbia, Kosovo. I have made videos about Israeli clubs in Europe. I've made videos about Ukraine, I think. I don't even remember. I've made videos about controversial chanting. I've made videos about all sorts of things. That depending on where you are, I guess could be considered incredibly controversial if you're in a certain area of the world or whatever. I have never had a more downvoted video than my video about me not thinking that Gyökeres's foul in the box was a penalty. Among other things, obviously. But that's not why I'm making this video. No. I'm not making that comes a part of the territory. I'm okay with that. I made peace with that a long time ago. Every once in a while, I'm going to think something, as rare as it may be. Surprised it doesn't happen more, honestly. I'm going to think something that a good number of people disagree with. Now, I'm making this video for one reason. There was somebody in the comments of the video, which I usually pretty religiously read the comments. I typically don't react to them. There's just nothing productive in that. I remember a YouTuber, right when I started making YouTube videos on the main channel way back in the day, that told me, Michael Jordan doesn't respond to YouTube comments. Objectively a hilarious quote, but also, I still respond to some YouTube comments when I feel like I can shed some light on my way of thinking, or if something just really, touches me, warms my soul, and I can reply to it or whatever. But it's good to read the comments, just, particularly on a channel like this, just because this is a conversation, right? This is a give and take. This is not a highly researched channel. These are not video essays. This is not, I don't spend 6 months putting these videos together. This is a channel that was started as basically a shitposting project where I would just sit down and talk about things that I thought were interesting in the world of football that day, and maybe you find it interesting and maybe you don't. I don't know. It took off a lot faster than I thought that it would, and has a very dedicated community of awesome people. So thank you for being here. The reason I'm here is one of those comments where I'm going to see if I can find it. It'd probably be fair if I could find it. All right, I found it. Took a little hunting. It comes off this original comment. Unbelievable. You say you don't need more angles. You say you didn't watch the game. But if you did, you'd see the ball ricocheted off Gabriel into his hand. By every precedent set in the Premier League, it's not a penalty. Abhorrently presented. Terribly researched. Do better. I mean, this isn't the comment that I'm referring to. This is a pretty standard response to anybody or from anybody that ever disagrees with me, ever. I'm assuming that the general assumption is that I devote my entire life to researching this stuff. Now, I understand that, if this was, so there was some sort of journalistic principle at play here, I would need to cover all my angles, but I fucking don't, right? I don't. That's the whole point of this channel. So I'm not even at the actual reason. We'll come back to that. I can get distracted there, but we'll come back to that. It's pretty generous to call his videos researched at all. That is 100% true. He just trawls Twitter and reacts in real time. That's not true. I don't just trawl Twitter. I trawl other things. Sometimes I even read articles. Sometimes I even watch videos. Again, not the point. This guy is just Mark Goldbridge if he knew even less about the sport. How dare you? Mark Goldbridge is inauthentic. At least I am authentically dumb. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm authentically smart. At least I like to think that. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself. If you want research and commitment, watch HITC7s. This is the comment that we are here to talk about. And this is the point of the State of the Zealandism. I am perfectly comfortable with the idea that I will have an opinion that a lot of people think is objectively wrong. I am even comfortable with the idea that after streaming Rust for 9 days, I have a couple posts sent to me and I'm like, damn, that's a penalty. And I just don't see the angle. I don't get sent the angle, right, of the handball in the box against Gabriel that apparently shows that the ball hits his part of his body. I'm not an idiot. Or other than the fact that that sentence didn't really make sense, I'm not an idiot. Right? I know that if the ball hits another part of his body and then hits his hand, it's a penalty. Or, sorry. You know what I mean? It's not a penalty. I just didn't see that angle, right? I'm cool with that, right? So sometimes I make 3 of these videos a day just because I saw a couple of different things that I'm interested in and I want to talk about. And in this particular instance, I got fucking baited, obviously, when it came to the Gabrielle thing. Now, on the Gyökeres tackle, there's just a lot of people that disagree with me. But I still stand on my business when it comes to that. But to bring it to this, comparing me to HITC 7s, specifically this channel. Like, if you want to stand on business, I'll stand on the Hidden Ground series on the main channel. That is carefully researched, methodically done. That is my passion project. That is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is the Hidden Ground series. I will stand on that business. I will put it up against anything that is the thing I am proudest of. This is me just sitting talking to you with maybe, if I'm super interested in it, I've read a bunch of articles and watched some videos and I'm really excited to tell you about it. But in the case of something like this, I'm reacting to the same stuff that you've seen. In some cases, you've seen more. You watched the whole damn match. I was streaming Rust the whole time and then got sent that stuff afterwards and went, what the hell? Now, the context of the whole match necessarily shouldn't matter, but the idea of this channel being some paragon of football research, some fountain of brilliant football, soccer, just video essays. It will never be that. I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be that. So anybody, literally anyone at all, that wants to remotely compare this channel to somebody like HITC 7s, who in particular is brilliant at what he does. He makes tremendous football video essays. I know the guy. We've messaged a bunch of times, right, and various things. We've nearly collaborated on a few things, but not in relation to this, right? He would never do this. And on this channel, I would never do that, right? It's night and day. Like, it's completely different. I was alarmed by the fact that this was involved as part of the reaction. And also, I was alarmed by being compared to Mark Goldbridge, who I respect for his entertainment value. Really? So it's okay. It's completely okay if you watch one of my videos and you're like, wow, I really don't agree with that. Or, wow, he's definitely wrong, as is apparently the case with the Gabrielle play, because the ball hit him in, I don't know, the angle that I was watching over and over again. I never saw that. Maybe I'm blind. I could just be going blind. That's perfectly fine. And it is very healthy to be able to disagree with that sort of thing. And we can still be friends. I have absolutely no problem with that. But let's not pretend. Let's never, ever pretend that I am anything other than just a person that you would sit and talk about ball with, right? And the only difference is I record all of it and then post it publicly for then everybody to react to at the same time. Unlike a normal conversation you would have with that type of friend, where there would be some sort of back and forth and you'd be like, oh no, it hit his foot. You're like, really? Oh yeah, it hit his shin right there. Oh, no shit. Okay. Right? I do have carefully researched, thought out opinions. They very often do not live here. Let's not pretend that they do. I love this channel. I love making these videos. I have an amazing time making these videos and interacting with you guys. But I will never pretend to be somebody I'm not. I am not some sort of overwhelming football expert. Stunt Peg is a great example of somebody who really, inside and out, knows everything. I've obviously played a lot of Football Manager. I've obviously spent a lot of time watching the game. But anybody who is a longtime fan of a sport, a team, anything, has bad takes. And that's just going to be part of the experience. I still don't think that Gyökeres, like the Gabby thing, fair. I am going to take exception. But one more thing, actually. Abhorrently presented. Can't you see the production quality involved here? The incredible level of editing on display on this channel. Sorry, I can't do this. Nah, we're cool. I needed to be very clear that, like, if we're talking about standard of research, as somebody with a degree in journalism, this is not that at all. It's fun though. I have a lot of fun.